We are back. Bad Publicity Gaming. You have Corey up top on the top bunk, and me down here, chilling in this corner. Circle takes square. Corey, what do we have on tap tonight? We've got another kind of impression video. FFG is coming at us fast and a little furious with these releases right now.
That's right.
We're previews.
We're getting more of the Guardians. We're filling out more of the Guardians of the Galaxy, because we got the big box, so now we're kind of trickling in and filling out the other team members. And this time they have previewed stuff for Gamora.
Ooh. Is she or is she not the most dangerous woman in the galaxy?
I think as we go through her cards, there could be some strong arguments that, yeah, she might be. Some cool stuff she can do. So I don't want to give too much away as we go through and break it down. But
strap in, guys. Enjoy this ride. We're ready. But I will say that somebody was ready before us. Huge shout out, Corey. You got it on point. Who are we shouting out?
Yeah, so give a shout out to Alan Lee. As one of the viewers, thank you so much for the support and then the kind words you sent us. But he was super hyped on waiting, for us to chat about this. He had some cool impressions for Gamora. So hopefully you enjoy the episode, man. Thanks again for watching and listening.
And no matter what is said here, Alan, I know that you will tune back in for more. Because I don't want to foreshadow anything, but.
But it's a big thing. We always post at the end of our videos, our whole like and subscribe spiel, but also comment. We do try to interact and stuff a lot with that. So if you've got some strong opinions, don't hesitate. Feel free to reach out, post, and we'll try to chat up with you.
We have no FFG affiliation. Let it fly.
That's right.
All right. Let's get down to it. People want what they want. We're already at the 2-minute warning. Let's go. Producer Steve. So real quick. Sorry, I know we're ready to go. Oh, I already flashed it up. Should I take it down?
That's fine. No, you're fine. You can leave her up. I'll give my spiel and then go right into the card.
Mm-hmm.
But just for those, if there's new people tuning in, when we do these previews, typically we go over the hero and we kind of stick to their character-specific cards. Sometimes in the spoiler vids or in the spoiler articles, they'll also preview a lot of the other cards that are available for everybody in the pack. We've kind of cut those out. We'll save them for later or talk about them when the pack releases. We just kind of focus on Gamora and Gamora's cards that are locked into her.
Yes.
So with that said, then I guess we're jumping right to Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da!
There she is. She's already there.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
Our editing budget. It's a co-op intern.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to go over it? Let me jump over it.
Go ahead, man.
Heck yeah. So Gamora, her alter ego. Spoiler: it's very similar to her hero name. So she's an outlaw. She's got 3 recovery, and she's hand size 6 and 10 hit points, which is pretty interesting. So it's kind of right there, median, I guess. So her abilities though are skilled tactician. So you can include up to 6 attack and or thwart events in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. And as her action, you can look at the top card of your deck, and if that card is an attack or thwart event, you draw it, and that's limit once per round. So right out of the gate, this is our second hero now that gives you the ability to break the deck building guidelines. So those Master Brewers, strap in. You got another hero to tinker with and find some busted combos.
Well, unlike my brew here tonight, which is the Ultra, I'm not going to try and come sour too much, but I do not feel out of the gate that Gamora hit with me, man. I know this is not what people want to hear. Again, how hyped I was on Star-Lord. I don't want to be the guy that brings the ship down right here, but let's start off with this part here.
Well,
I think.
Well, real quick, I just want to let everyone else know that if I had a conductor hat, I'd be putting it on because I'm all aboard the Gamora hype train. So we can get two opposing views of someone who thinks Gamora is really sweet to someone who's kind of wait and see on Gamora. So take it away, Jameson. Go with your initial thoughts on these abilities.
First up, if we're just looking at this card right here, I'm like, okay, 3 recovery, hand size 6, hit points 10, nothing jumps out at me. I look at the action. Look at the top card of your deck. If that card is an action or a thwart event, draw it. Okay, draw's cool. Okay, draw's cool. It needs it. Then I look at the skilled tactician part. You may include up to 6 attack or thwart events in your deck and aspects. So I'm like, okay, she's going to be utilizing this attack and thwart event mechanic somehow. The 6 cards from anything, I don't know if that's going to be a challenge for me to play, because I feel like that opens up a little bit, or could open up a little bit of the easy button. Looking at it from a vacuum, that now I'm able to break, the core rule in the game of, don't cross the aspects. But I mean, hey, Ghostbusters did it once, right? So if we only have one in it, here we go.
Worked out great for them.
Yeah. but I didn't find myself enjoying being able to break it with Spider-Woman. Like, I thought that was going to be like a deck building dream. It's going to do this and that, and it didn't really jump at me. Like, I kind of like somebody telling me, like, this is the sandbox you play in. Be as creative in that sandbox as you can. Use the pieces as new pieces come out. You can go back and look and see what you can take and adjust. I don't know if 6 kind of breaks the rules a little too much, but that is what it is. But it just seems like this is going to be another kind of attack or thwart, and you get to decide. So I'm not so gung-ho on this mechanic style already. Go ahead, Corey. Is that you?
Well, see, that's right. I see where your problem is, because you're looking at this. You're looking at this from like the sandbox and the deck building regulations, but I think what you failed to notice is the one keyword on Gamora's card. What is that keyword, Jameson?
Outlaw.
You're damn right. She's an outlaw, Jameson. She doesn't follow the rules. She gets to build her deck the way she wants.
Shit! I'm sold. What was I thinking?
We always talk about utilizing the keywords with FFG, just out of the box keyword utilization. So I love it just because I played Spider-Woman through Rise of Red Skull with one of our groups. And I thought she was cool. She was fun to play. You should do some neat stuff. But it wasn't quite everything I wanted. And I think the fact that I can go through all the aspects, aside from the one that I lock in for the deck, and pick out attack and thwart cards that I want to mix in, because you can do any combination. You're just capped at 6. This gives you a lot of variety to really tailor what you're trying to do with the deck and just have fun with it. She's supposed to be kind of like an all-out attacking machine. I
think it's gonna be.
I think it's gonna be fun.
I think that my instinct tells me to go with one or the other. I'm not gonna say like don't throw in some thwarts, throw in some attacks. I think you just go all attack or all thwart. Like that's your first beta test, right? Like out the gate.
Yeah.
Like try. I mean, obviously, if there's some super overpowered card of the other choice, then yeah, okay, you're probably gonna throw that in again. But then like you're making it super powered. You're paving your way to that easy win. I don't know.
You know what that means? It means scenarios need to get harder. Well, and I'm all for harder scenarios.
Okay, so that's going to be the mystery unknown, right? Is if the villains and stuff are getting harder, then we'll be on par, and we may need people like this. We may need somebody to come in and push that easy button. And I say that loosely. I mean, obviously this is a game where everybody should have fun and play the style you want. But I just have seen ones that, for me, when it's all in that way, like when it's like the Hulk was like all in on attack, right? Like, and that aggression. And I just, I like more from a character. So let's not dwell on this too much. But
that's right.
But here this is. That's me going. I'll continue my thought in the flip, and then you can rebuttal here. Okay. So
sure.
Flipping it, as Corey alluded to, is Gamora again, and this is another kind of like little bit of a letdown for me. Hand size obviously drops. I don't care about hit points 2222 on our stats, but I'm just like thinking to myself that if I'm flipping from an alter ego to a hero and it's the same one, I think this would have been a missed opportunity to maybe think, really outside of the box and just have a hero that does not flip. Like, do something special with it that I don't know what. I really don't. But I see what they did from a thematic purpose. This is the outlaw. This is before, and then she became a guardian. Okay, so she was, she's doing her own thing, and then now she's a guardian of the galaxy in the hero form. But what's weird is, like, as the game's going through, you're flipping back and forth. So it's like, you're a guardian, not a guardian. I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. But
maybe this plays into like her conflicted personality, being like a daughter of Thanos, or like that situation. Like, she's constantly dealing with her inner struggles of the hero to non-hero Gamora.
Right. So I'll break the rest of it down. There's a response after you play an attack event. Remove one threat from a scheme. Limit once per phase. Response after you play a thwart event. Deal 1 damage to an enemy. So you're really, like, no matter what you're doing here, you're really maximizing turns. You're doing big things. You're probably really helping the table out a lot, your group. Again, from a thematic perspective, I wish it was something more. I know that she's that most dangerous woman. I know that she's, very deadly attack, thwart. Thematically, okay, that makes sense, and that's where they went. But again, I just wish if I was flipping from Gamora to Gamora, maybe like I said, maybe the card didn't flip, and it was something like it just was one thing. Maybe there was something crazy that they could have done. I don't know, tap it. Maybe it's like a clock, right? Like every phase that you turn it like had something that was like at the top that was activated that turn or something, right? But don't flip to an alter ego when there's no alter ego. She was just Gamora. So there's me. I'm a lukewarm. I've been totally wrong before on first impressions. I'll admit it. But Corey, give her. What are you seeing here? What are you seeing here?
So when I normally look at a card in the game to decide if I'm going to put it in the deck, one of the first things I look at is, does this card give me versatility? And Gamora looks to be a hero that's another one of those heroes that's all about versatility. You're going to attack this phase, don't worry, you get a little bit of thwarting. You're gonna do some thwart this phase, you can put out a little bit of damage. And initially that one may not seem like a lot, but I'll tell you what, playing this game a bunch, we all get in situations where there's just like one remaining on a scheme, or there's this one little annoying like guard villain or minion that's got 1 point left, and you don't want to waste your good like attack card on it. So she has a lot of ways to do like these little small like finishing off points, which is also incredibly useful. But she can trigger both of these in a phase, and that's important to note. It's limit once per phase. So if you play with something reactionary during the villain phase, you can trigger these abilities. If she plays both a thwart and an attack action, she can trigger both. So she can also get the extra damage and the extra, threat removal. Which is cool. And her stat line's solid. Like 222 is good. She doesn't have like a weak stat.
No, I think that's great for her stats. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised too that they didn't try and push anything from that perspective. We haven't seen the rest of the kit, so I don't know what's happening. But when you have a when you have a hero that is so going to be dominant around attack and thwarting, I'm really surprised that they set them both for 2. I thought you would put like obviously some cards in there that are going to boost your attack and your thwart. Because I mean, hey, look at it's going to revolve around that scheme. So giving her a base of 2 on each one, that's really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
So I think as we see some of the cards that they showed in the article, some of this might come together a little bit more. But I like it. I like I'm a big fan of versatility.
Yeah, no.
And what is it, like jack of all trades, master of none? I kind of like the ability to play in different spaces than being like a hyper-focused character sometimes. And so this kind of lets you adapt. And adaptability can be really strong in, scenario play. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm a fan.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I'm not saying like it's really weird. Like I'm not saying that I'm not saying that she's not going to be fun, right?
Yeah.
Because I think like sometimes getting in there and smashing things up and doing things are going to be good. And I'm not saying that she's going to be weak. Like quite the opposite. I think she's going to be super, super strong. But then, like I said, I just don't know if that's going to provide the challenge that I look for in the game from a long-term perspective. So,
gotcha.
What do we got here? Let's flip open into one of her kit cards here. The first one.
Yeah, is it a decisive blow? Is that what we've got?
It is.
Man.
Do you just
all right.
Just to say, like, just look right over there, man. Look it. There it
yeah, is. I know. Let me just casually look over. Oh, there it is. Decisive blow. Okay, got it. Man, our production budget is getting better and better. So decisive blow is a 2-cost event. Real quick. So there is a slight gripe I will have about Gamora, and it is the design choice to make her top color gray. I will tell you the number of times I initially looked at this kit and thought these were neutral cards has got me a bunch. So I trained myself to look at the bottom for her mug in the corner. But come on, guys, do we have to do gray as the top color? Anyway, okay, minor gripe. Decisive blow, 2-cost event, strength resource, attack, hero action attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy, or 7 damage instead if you have played a thwart event this turn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've done the thwart, you've got to ping out a point of damage. So this could effectively add into being like 8 damage onto like the villain, and in playing it gives you the ability to remove a threat off something. And it's only 2 cost. So 2 cost to potentially do 7 is a great rate.
Yep. So then now you're looking at this card and you're seeing, okay, so maybe you do have to balance those initial cards that you're putting in. If that's kind of the combo you're going to be, where if you've done, A this turn, then now you can also do B, right? So I think it probably wants you to be playing 2 at a time. So now you're like, okay, all right, it's getting a little more interesting. As we're seeing this design space move into the actual play and flow of it. I had to say everything that Corey said is spot on. 7 damage for 2 cost is just utterly ridiculous.
It's good. It's a good rate.
It's nuts. So. That's value town. Nothing else to say. That's a value card.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for? 2?
It seems like it might be a one of, because it's the decisive blow. So I think hoping for 2 is a bit greedy. But I think it'll be 1. It'll be a card you try to fish for like finishing off like a stage of a villain, or getting rid of like a really obnoxious minion or a nemesis or something.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we go back, I'll kind of flip it up here for a second here. We'll do like the production value. If you look at her alter ego action, where it's look at the top card of your deck, and you want to be, drawing up on that, it kind of makes me think that you have to kind of combo something. So I would be surprised if we do get 2 of these, just from a power level perspective.
That's true.
And just to try and be like, okay, maybe do some stuff, use alter ego to see if it's the next card, set up these combos, and then it's very weak, but like a search and draw kind of mechanical piece there. But decisive blows, very deadly, and I would be surprised if we sit 2 in. People are going to probably hope for it, but one is where my gut tells me. Next on the block, we have Cross Counter. It's a 1-cost event. So far, what we're seeing is very,
cheap.
Very cheap actions to play on these events. Sorry, let's use technical terms here, Corey. We're professionals. So this is attack, defense, and thwart. Now, that's ridiculous, right? I mean, and coming from a cast that 2 guys are like, do something, with keywords. Now keywords are like this, keywords are all about Gamora. You have one of us that is not so hyped about the keywords. So it's so funny. I feel like they made this for us.
I know, it's like the keyword hero.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is a 1-cost attack, defense, thwart. It's the whole trifecta that we have here. Was it the Triforce? Hero interrupt, attack, defense, thwart. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage, deal 1 damage to an enemy, remove 1 threat from a scheme.
Weird. And what if this also triggered everything on your hero card, so it's also dealing another damage and letting you remove another threat from a scheme, because it meets all the keyword requirements for 1 cost? Seems good.
Yeah.
Seems like a card I wouldn't be sad to be holding into my hand.
Yeah, she's going to be a combo monster.
Which I guess, to buddy off a little bit, sorry, but you did mention like her low cost, and I think that's a good like design, because she does seem like she has to be able to play multiple cards in a turn. And so if you gave her a bunch of like high cost big hitters, right, she wouldn't be able to do it because it'd be so expensive for her to do these most of the time. But the fact they're keeping like a lot of her things like really low means she's not eating up so many cards. And she can do things with a small amount of resources to really start like chaining these actions and stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, it probably had to do some tight design space tuning to get that, because we saw that with Miss Marvel, right? Like where you want to kind of keep playing those events, but the range that they were cost, you could only really do so much unless you kind of boosted your hand size up and kind of prepped for it, right? But this one here, with keeping the cost down, because I mean, you're gonna have to play the card and then have other stuff to pay for it, then play another card to try and get that combo effect, and then pay for that card as well. So it's gonna be interesting. Maybe you're gonna have a lot of resource generated cards on the table, cards that will have resources stacked on them, so you can pay for these things without the use of cards. Something to think about.
Man, are you a psychic?
No, I'm not a psychic.
Because
I am Groot. I am no psychic. I am Groot.
Because what you just said leads really well into the next card in the kit we have.
Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? Let's see what it is. Go ahead, buddy. Keen. Oh, we'll team it. I'll say the first part. Keen
instincts.
Oh,
Wow. Look at that teamwork there. All right. So this is a one cost upgrade skill energy resource. Exhaust keen instincts, generate a wild resource for an attack or thwart event. So, one, you're correct. So she gets a stock built-in generator. But what's nuts about this card is it only costs one. It's cheap to get a resource generator to play cards that she just wants to be playing all the time, every turn.
Yes. And again, that is, as the kids say, bananas. BANANAS, right? Like that's nuts, man. That is absolutely nuts. I really can't believe that it just, it's like, here you want to play these cards. We're wanting to make that happen. I can't even. I'm so tongue tied on how they're serving it up on a platter. Like,
you gotta get your enabler, and their enabler is her sheer skill.
Yeah. So super interesting, super interesting there. I am honestly a little blown away and baffled by this choice. I thought they would have looked to, maybe they don't want to take away your ability to deck build, so they put a resource generator inside her kit, so we don't have those slots taken up for those other cards, and you'll be able to then build those combos and stuff like we talked about that are on her alter ego. Play around with that. All right, what else do we got, man?
So next up, we have the ally that comes in her kit, and that is Nebula.
Really cool.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. So it's a 2 cost. She's 2 thwart, 2 attack, only deals 1 damage to herself, and she has 2 health. She's a guardian, so she gets that keyword. Her response is, after Nebula enters play, search your deck for an attack or thwart event and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So she's a tutor for whatever card you need at the moment. That happens to be an attack or thwart. Pretty commonly used cards that help solve whatever situation you're in. So she comes down, she's a body, she can do something, and then she helps get you the answer or the card you need in the moment to deal with something else on the board. Excellent ally. Excellent.
And I do have to say, as someone who's been heavily against allies, this one here, again, I feel like they've learned all of their, I don't want to say they've learned all of their lessons and stuff, but this one here is actually a playable card that you can put in, and you're just not going to use a kit ally as a resource. I mean,
yeah.
That it's also a wild resource, but you're getting 2 stats, you're getting 2 health, a cost of 2. I think is just, I'm not going to say it's value, but it's good. I mean, and that ability is what you're going to need in this deck.
Exactly. I'm always a fan of allies that actually play into what the hero's doing. Not every ally does this. Like, some allies are good. They're good, strong allies, but they don't necessarily accelerate or reinforce or combo exactly with the hero ability, but Nebula does.
Yeah, 100% definitely. She's a card that you're going to want to play to search your deck for those cards when you can't find them, to set up what she's doing. Nebula, top notch card from what we're seeing here. Now, The interesting piece of this, and where I think they made it so good, spot on, FFG, you guys did it, Caleb Boggs, is this card here. Corey, what are we looking at now?
Is it also Nebula? Yeah. Let me glance. Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah. Even though it's the same. We just talked about this with the Gamora.
It's also Nebula, baby.
Yeah, might as well.
So this is a cool, unique thing for Gamora. Is her nemesis is also the ally in her deck, which is insanely thematic because those who are familiar with Nebula, she's also a conflicted character who's constantly pulled between like aiding her sister or to doing like bidding of others, of higher authority, or father, stuff like that. So it's awesome. So if you trigger and pull in, she comes in, she's obnoxious as hell. She has Retaliate, which is one of the most obnoxious abilities in the game. But when she would enter play, she discards Nebula ally from play. So she removes the ally version of herself, so there's no confliction, and then she flips to becoming your nemesis, and then brings her stuff in. And it's really cool because I know her scheme, I don't think we have it queued, but her scheme also is like can only be removed, I think, by Gamora. So it totally plays into like she becomes Gamora's problem to deal with. When she was your ally and fetching you a cool card and being awesome, now she's turned on you.
The ally nemesis kind of thing that we're seeing here, genius. Gamora's side scheme, genius pieces of work in the design space. Really love it from that thematic respect. I kind of wish. Okay, let's put on our other hats now. I kind of wish that it worked in reverse though too, for that thematic touch. If the nemesis is on the board and I played the ally, I kind of wish that.
Oh, it turned her back. It would at least get rid of her nemesis card and like switch her over. That's interesting. Give you a way to kind of like sway her back to your side, which might make you like hold. That could have been something like maybe we could have attached to the card. Maybe it's like a neat like little flavor thing. But I completely see reasons why they didn't do that.
I see why as well. I mean, it's obviously, to keep the level of gameplay up, right? To keep that pressure on, because the nemesis comes in and is on the board and has to do, nemesis-y things.
Nemesis-y things.
Nemesis things. I don't know why she all of a sudden like. How come when you're with me, you can take 2 little hits, but man, when you're against me, 5? Holy Toledo.
That's right. Toledo. But she gets that retaliation. She gets really angry. Like something just triggers. She's might be a little unstable, so maybe some things turn on. Juice gets flowing. That adrenaline ramps up whenever she realizes she hates you, as opposed to wants to be your friend and helps you.
I will say too that I do love the fact that Nebula and Gamora are packaged together, but we have seen before that even though allies, even though allies are certain heroes, that doesn't stop them from being their own pack later on down the road. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Nebula pack. I really think that it would be cool from like a upgrade kind of memory thing perspective. There's probably some interesting mechanics we've seen there, but it is going to be interesting again because it would probably be just Nebula on both sides. Wah, wah. Wah.
Yeah, that one seems a little unlikely. Like I could definitely see them making it in the future. I think in this cycle, Nebula might be like least likely to get it because she's a nemesis, and I haven't seen them so far. They've not crossed and made like a character of a nemesis. Yeah, because I'm wondering how the rules would be.
Yeah,
so.
But we haven't been in this situation where we've had such a character walk the line between good and evil before, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's in there, man. She's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope with all of this Guardian stuff that we are building towards, Thanos.
Yeah, it'd be cool. But just to kind of like build on what you were saying earlier is I do really love the theme and how they're adding these really cool twists to the characters in this cycle, which is really showing like the progression of what they're doing with the characters going forward in the game. They're getting more creative. They're finding some really good synergies, some really neat like out of the box things, and just adding more fun, cool characters you can play in the game.
Totally. Very impressed.
Are you coming around a little bit?
Oh,
are you coming around a little bit more on Gamora?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
No. Sorry.
Fine. We won't pick you up on the train.
No, well, I mean, it's cool because I'll just
leave you at the station.
I mean, but that's that again. You know, let's come back. Let's bring this whole episode home by saying that's what's good about this game is that I feel that there is a character and a play. Every character is a play style, and there is a play style and a character for everyone. As much as I was really, really hyped on, certain heroes in the past, not everyone was probably equally excited. I think there's some people that are just excited to play heroes and see variety and stuff like that. But I mean, when you have 10 heroes in front of you, you're going to automatically gravitate towards certain ones. And I don't see myself gravitating towards this hero in this playstyle, but I respect a good chunk of these design choices that they've put in here. I respect the work that goes into this mechanic, and I'm excited to see it play out. I'm excited to see somebody take Gamora and build and execute that combo style deck. It's going to be really, really fun to see play. I'm excited that she's in the game from that as a playable character as we flush out the rest of the Guardians. But I'll take my Star-Lord.
There you go. Well said. Well, hey, so since we're going to see people who we're going to build, I'm excited personally to find out what you, the viewers, would pick as your 6 cards. Like knowing what you know now with the cards you see available, like what immediately jumps to you as the cards you would import into a Gamora deck. And feel free to share them in the comments below the video. We'll check them out and see if we line up, see what cool deck brews might pop out with the community.
You know what else you can do while you're down there, Corey?
Oh, what else could they do?
Oh, there's lots of fun things, man. You can leave a comment and you can like and subscribe.
That's correct.
And I don't know what it does, but there's a bell, and every other YouTube person tells you to ring the bell and do some stuff. But I mean, I don't know what it does. You can try it. Just keep hitting it a couple times. Like just hammer on it, and wherever it stops, if it's on, if it's off, that's just what you go with.
Sounds great. Yeah, so you guys should do that while you're leaving the comment with the card choices.
So much fun down there.
Yeah.
Yep. Guys, thank you very much for joining us for another Impressions video. Marvel Champions. We'll catch you in the next one. All the best. Stay safe out there.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.